Hi, Muchismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. I want to talk about once we're out of a relationship with the narcissist, we get educated, start elevating, start vibrating higher. There's also something else we need to be concerned about. And as I mentioned this before, we need to be considerate of the fact that we're in a vulnerable state. And being in a vulnerable state, as we are, it doesn't matter how educated and isolated that we are. It doesn't matter how high we're vibrating. That doesn't guarantee that we won't be susceptible to other things that come our way by way of groups, associations, cliques. And I spoke about this in regards to gym memberships, organizations you might want to get involved in that are non-profit, volunteer. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the gym, nothing wrong with getting in these non-profit volunteer groups. You need to get out of the house. Some of you are retired, some of you all are empty nesters. You don't have children at home and you're just kind of like, what am I going to do with myself? Just sitting around. You don't wish to do anything at home. You want to occupy your time, so you want to go out and you want to be involved in things. You want to be a part of what makes this world move. What I wanted to talk to you guys about was a lot of things that we are dealing with unbeknownst to ourselves, under our nose, every day in plain sight. That's the Illuminati's mission statement. The best place to hide something is in plain sight. A lot of cults are being ran, orchestrated, right up under our nose by way of self-help gurus who are doing workouts, exercise, physical healness, physical health. You have financial entities that are out here talking about how you can turn $1 into $1 million. Maybe not that in that extreme, but you get the point. Because we are in financial disarray because of the narcissist, so we say, why not? I'll invest in this thing. It's not much to lose. And they start off by asking you to just click a link down below, which is how the internet is ran. I understand that. So follow with me, guys. This is what cults are depending on. You not continuing to follow us through. Because what happens is, as I begin to talk about these things, you who are listening to me right now are involved in something, some way, shape, or form in this regard. So immediately you feel insulted, you feel inferiority complex, and the ego kicks in. And then that causes you to tune people out. That causes you to turn off the next thing being said. I don't want you guys to do that. I want you to follow with me, and I want you to understand exactly. Be good listeners. Get all your information, and then you can denounce the critic. And so, as I was trying to say, these things start subtle. Very subtle they start. And as you go on into this, see what you have to understand. You who have woken up, you don't have a lot of people who understand narcissism, abuse. So we go into isolation. And so what we're doing from the comforts of our home, we may be on our electronic gadget. And this is how we're being enticed. By our own free will, we're being enticed through the media. And so we sign on to this new thing. We believe, I know what narcissism looked like. Why don't I get involved in this financial gamble? Nothing much to lose here. Understand you're vulnerable because you just came out of an abusive relationship by way of the narcissist. So this neatly packaged new thing that you've adopted or you've gotten interested in it has your attention in a good way. So you're coming from a negative to a positive, seemingly. So what we do is, being that we're vulnerable, we're also open to ideas. And because something look good doesn't mean it's good for you. I guess that's my bigger point. How do you know if this is not good for you? I'll give you a good indication that I always use. Say I go to a membership in a gym. Right away I see a lot of negative, I feel and sense overt dark energy. I continue to go about my workout. This is a true story, by the way. And as days persist, I'm so exhausted, I don't get a chance to go to the gym as much. But when and if I do go, it doesn't matter what day of the time or night I go, whether it's a few people or a lot of people, it's going to be those same individuals with that energy that are going to hover around. Because if you casually observe and you see, you sense, and you're aware, and you do what you can to ignore and focus, but you notice specific energies are trying to latch onto you. This is a sign that you have to abort mission. You have to go to that gym less, because now the thing that you went there for is being blocked, or is attempting to be blocked. And some of you may say, I got a membership, I paid for this, I'm not going to let these demons dissuade me and persuade me from not doing my workout. So now this ego is kicking in. It's causing you not to listen to what your intentions or your intuition is telling you. As I've said before, don't talk yourself out of what your intuition tells you. Empath chosen ones, be ready, willing, and able to abort mission. Be ready to move. Keep it moving where it pertains to that gym workout or that membership, where it pertains to that store you normally go to. Go to the other one across town. And you may say, well, I'm not doing all that. It is vital to your improvement. It is vital to you denouncing this cult-like initiation from these energy vampires, because they want you to pledge allegiance to them. And another way to know whether you should abort mission is when something of a sort you feel too comfortable too soon. You readily feel not at peace, but comfortable. When we get too comfortable too soon, that seems to be a zone in which we become relaxed. And it's in that moment that we let our mental guard down. This is what I would suggest going forward. Go to that thing. Get involved in that financial idea. Sign up for that gym membership. But when and if you become too comfortable too soon, take a step back and start observing more. Don't kick your legs up. Don't cross your arms. Don't lay back and relax. Your mental observation should be straightforward, taking a step back and say, wow, let me scan my surroundings. Am I comfortable in and of my own right because this is something where I have peace of mind? Or am I getting comfortable because of the entourage or the camaraderie that has somehow invaded my space? Because this is how it works. This is how deception works. People will come in and share your same goals, your same ambitions, because we share them with them. In that gym membership, if you go there and you just work out, because people will ask you, what are you here to work out? What parts of your body you want to work out? Almost like they're your personal trainer. See, these line of questioning is to set you up to get intel on not so much what makes you tick, but to form some kind of trust bond with you. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to work out on my waist. Yeah, I'm trying to work out on my biceps too. And what happens is, before you know it, you're working out with this person on the same body parts. But if you think about it, they're the one who's suggesting every workout. They're the ones who are telling you you did it wrong. They're the ones who's telling you this is the next workout they suggest you should do. A lot of times they're passive. They'll allow you to give your idea. But you know, with a narcissist, You're never giving your idea of having it received. That's a part of the passive aggressiveness. They will allow you. They allow you to think that they're submissive. They're willing to accept ideas. But somehow or another, when you look back, your ideas never matter. They never are important. Their ideas supersede yours. And so going forth, isolation, education, and vibrating yourself very high. Even out in public, you have to still exercise strict isolation. Even amongst people, there's a way you can be isolated. There's a way you can be guarded. You almost have to walk around like you're your own bodyguard. And that's what you are. Show the grace of God and His protection over you, you all who believe in God. But God gave you a mind, intuition, and He gave you a sense of self. So yet that sense of self, once you become disconnected from yourself and you start adopting other people's ideas and theories and different things like this, you've compromised a big part of yourself. You've given a big part of yourself and negated it to someone else. Trust yourself first and allow yourself time to look around and observe. And I'm guarantee you, in no time at all, you will be able to see that the thing you were hesitant about, it was for good reason. The internet is loaded with this awareness of this stuff. But you know what? It's hard pressed to be received. There's so many people know about narcissists, but not many people are awake. To be awake and aware in that order, it is nothing short of a miracle. We are the fortunate. We're a small voice in a big room. That room can be full, but the echoing of our voice is rarely heard. We're the ones that are going to be deemed loonies. We're the ones that are going to be deemed we're out of our head. We're reaching. We're the ones that are going to be deemed know-it-alls. Because that one crucial difference is we are awake. And in no way can you have the insight that chosen ones have unless you are awake. You can be educated about this stuff. You find it funny people who are educated about narcissism? They can give you this in a psychological, organized, neatly packaged point of view. But only awakened people can cut through the chase. We've seen the demonic entities within these people. You're not going to find this in the DSM-4 and 5, calling this a demonic possession. But you'll have New York bestseller books of people talking about it and seemingly deconstructing this in many different ways. And you'll go to people's houses and they'll have every book written by that author. I'm into this NXIVM thing right now, and I'm just taking my time to research it because it's kind of like a nice bowl of ice cream. I'm trying to savor it because this is a new enlightenment on top of being awakened. And I found it funny that I never had gotten wind of this because there's so many things I'm believing that are out there on this subject of cults, which in actuality, this guy was a narcissist. I've seen, a few interviews from him and just watching his behavior, body language. He never looks at you, never gives eye contact, salivates as he's talking about his own ideology. This man had women branded with his initials on him. Billion dollar organization. A lot of wealthy people contributed to this. One particular woman and her daughter or sister, siblings, are daughters of they're heiresses of Seagram's. And you know it as Seagram's Gin, Seagram's Liquors, and all that kind of stuff like that. So they contribute what some people think in upwards of $100 to $200 million to support this guy. And I was gonna remember his name, but if you just Google NXIVM leader, his name will pop up. He wears glasses, and so really disturbing stuff with this guy. But it's just a repeat, same pig with different lipstick. You can go David Koresh, which is on a parallel with this guy. Very low key, laid back, pretty much somewhat quiet people. But when they're trying to unction and command this deception, they're very vocal. And that's a part of it, how they can come in laid back, relaxed, and then they get you to believe in that everything that they say is golden. So we have a fight on our hands, guys. This is going from awakened to narcissism to being awakened to all the things that we thought we knew. And the church is no exception. If you want to talk cult, 9 churches out of 10 in the world, I believe, are cults. Maybe 10 out of 10. As far as the organized religion go, cults. When you don't have a voice in something, and they have you under the impression that you will be heard if you have an issue, that is exactly the definition of what a cult is. Because when you do come to a point where you have something to say, your voice is not heard. I actually account this to a couple of jobs I worked at. When they say open door policy, that's cultic. Because when I look back at all of those open door policies, verbatim, they all say the same thing. Whenever you have a problem, you just come to us and talk to us. We will hear you. They will hear you. They won't pay attention to what you're saying. They will deflect everything that you say. At the end of the day, it's you against them. So, I'm going to end with this story. I was involved with a Spanish girl way back, well, I want to say 16, 17 years ago. She had 6 kids. Beautiful Spanish girl. I think I met her, I forget where I met her at. But I met her somewhere and we began talking and interacting, and I soon began to date her for a short period of time. She had 6 children. She wasn't with any of the fathers. I think she had 3 or 4 by one father and the other 2 by another father. So 2 fathers, 6 kids. And I had told her at one point I wanted to get married, and I thought we should get married. Seemed like we got along great. And so she was involved in this, I don't know what you say it was. In the early 2000s, there were a few people doing this. I now know that these were in fact cults as well. She just didn't notice. I didn't either, but I felt like something was awry there, and I believed it was more of a Ponzi scheme. Because I'll tell you a story in the future about what we call being, you can say scammed, but in the South we call it flim-flammed. I'll tell you about that some other time. But she was in this thing, and I was like, hey, we should get married. You know, I don't want to just be, because we both went to church, and I always held, church kind of has always been my, the guilt, or I don't want to say guilt, but yeah, I could say it was guilt. A lot of times when we're not really locked in with God, we use our faith as a guilt trip to not do certain things that we do. But for the most part, I believe I wanted to do it because in the sight of God, I wanted him to bless the marriage. So, and I'm getting the milk. You say, why buy the cow? But I've never really felt like that. I felt like if someone I really connect with, I don't just want to have that woman's body and, different things like this and not have her as a big part of my life for life. And that's the way I felt for a long time. So she said she was into this business trip where they was going on business trips here and there. She had to essentially go to one a month. And I asked her, I said, you making any money on this? She said, well, we're going to make money. She said, I have some mentors that are making six figures, blah, blah, blah. And so the long story short of that is, I even then was able to form a quick critical thinking and say, well, you know what? You're investing into this. You got 6 kids. You're not really benefiting from here. This is something that may not happen for you. But you could look at this woman, you could not tell her that this was not going to work out. So I didn't press too hard. And because I think I really loved her. I was in love with her. I loved her. And so I said, okay, but I want to get married. And you don't, so that's kind of like we're at a standstill on this. And so we continued to date, and I had met this woman, to which became my second wife. And she's 15 years older than me, and very wonderful woman, nothing bad to say about her. So that is the second wife that I was married to when I met the twins' mom, to give you the backstory of that. Didn't marry the twins' mom, thank God for that. In this third marriage in which I consequently arrived at narcissist personality disorder. So anyway, she didn't want to get married, and I met this woman, and we kind of like hit it off. And I just told her, I said, I met somebody else, and I think, since you don't want to get married, I really want to be a husband. And she accepted that. And so out of all the relationships, I had never thought about that one. That was one that we ended. I ended on a good note. And I just believe she was so transfixed into this cult, because I know that's what it was. And it'd be nice to know where she is in life with that right now. I think if I saw her, maybe we would still be okay. Oh, and later on, even after I, disengaged with her, I continued to go to church. And one of the churches that I didn't never stake a membership in that, and that's something I've been I'm very hesitant to put memberships on a lot of churches I've gone to in times past. I now know why. And so the church I began to go to with the second wife, the Hispanic girl, was the treasurer in the church. So we went to church there. She didn't have no plex. We didn't have no animosity. And so I guess it didn't bother her at all. Didn't bother me. So it was very harmonious. And I think later on something happened with the church over there. That pastor fell from grace. Ponzi scheme, cult. Couple churches I've seen that happen. Even with the one that I just was in with this third wife, this pastor bounced. And in this particular church I'm speaking of, this pastor bounced. And then there was another church I was in with my first wife. This pastor bounced. How many of you got those stories? They mysteriously just leave. Nobody in the congregation knows why. There's because something has been so well insulated in that even the people they deceive don't want to talk about it. And that's how these cultic narcissists work. They'll have these people so confused and destroyed till they would not utter what happened to them. Unlike us who have awakened. Only reason why we're able to talk about it because we're aware and we're educated on exactly what it is. We're able to put it in context. Some of these people can't because they've been through such hell with these people. But again, the Spanish girl didn't want to get married, and I got married to this second wife. And so, and consequently, I divorced her. She sent me divorce papers, much like the third one. Just sent me. And, I don't think we ended on a good note, the second wife, but I don't think she has no deep animosity for me. I don't know where she is in life either. To which all of the wives that I've married are in this area. And I happened upon the first wife one day in Home Depot, and she was nonchalantly stalking, staring at me from a distance, and I walked over to her and had a light conversation with her and asked her did she still have my last name. You know, just making small talk. She's like, why wouldn't I? These things are telling. Why wouldn't you? I don't know, man. That's kind of to pay homage to me, I guess. Why wouldn't I? No, it's because my kid's last name is Warren. I believe that's the reason why she's keeping my name. See, they don't know you know what you know. So I want to end on that note, guys. This is really no title to this. It's just about being aware, even after the narcissistic abusive relationship, your awareness can never be too strong. If I had a title, that's probably what it would be. Your awareness can never be too strong. So that being said, guys, bless.